Study from
Yeah,
Evil
I'm
Geniuses
glad you brought
too.
that up. Yeah, that's very interesting. And of course, these two teams have matched up prior. I believe in groups they're actually in the same one, and it ended up being a 3-0 from Luminosity. So you got to imagine that definitely kind of burned, Nameless and Study, kind of realizing that those two players were dropped from that team for Saints to pick up another power 3 from that Rise Nation squad. So with that in mind, this should be very interesting to say the least. But of course, like I said, to kind of break down where some of these teams have come from, because both of them have already played today. I believe Evil Geniuses came from a Game 5 thriller last night versus Infuse, and then this morning versus Splice, both of those going down to a Game 5. So EG, Game 5 veterans when it comes down to MLG Vegas, kind of the EU Slayers up to this point. It's kind of known as FaZe's job, as they've kind of been doing their job too, kind of been doing that same role. But and also from the Luminosity Gaming side, they actually just took out Team Envious in a 3-1 fashion. So the boys in blue sent packing, and it seems that the LG Loyal will be moving forward here versus the EG squad. It should be a fantastic one. Scorch Hardpoint is what we will turn our attentions to here for game number 1. Is there anyone that you are going to be looking out for heading into this first game here, Dirk?
I think the player to watch for me, it's going to be the heavy slayer from the side of Luminosity. It's going to be Saints in this hard point. Then if you want to go over to EG, it's just, I think Study is going to be the player that I want to watch as well. Both high caliber players, so let's see what they're going to be able to do here. Saints going to be rocking the OC off the start of this one. So best of 5 series now starting up between Luminosity and EG. Loser does go home, winner advances. Trophy system's going to be going down, so Flechette's going across the map. Basically your simple routine on the break, but you do look at the new mini map. It's going to be Nagafin crossing over to Skybridge, trying to flank around to see what he can do here. He's going to be able to find one. Is he going to be able to find a second? No, he's going to immediately be cleaned up. Spawn's still going to be going in favor of Luminosity.
Yeah, great play there from Luminosity Gaming. You're well aware of what's going on between the EG side pushing forward. It looks like Slacked and Classic just trying to clear out, trying to keep in mind those rotations. They're going to be coming in toward Turbine, but Havoc is there, shuts down to the man who's been rocking the OSA throughout most of the series, if not all 100% of it. It seems that shots starting to come in. It seems that Study will be awarded those last few seconds of scrap points, maybe, but no. Continuous pushes starting to come in. LG not wanting to give those away as they have started up 32-0. Rotations in their favor. LG looking incredibly strong here off the start.
Oh, that was picture perfect from LG there. I mean, you see a lot of teams, they like to play on that cave side from the start. Then at some point in time, they get enough players up, they push forward and they flip the spawns. That's exactly what they did. So it sets them up perfectly for this next one. First player in the hill is going to be Octane. He's going to be met there with Saints, but now some gunfight's going to be going down. It's going to be Study coming out on top of Octane, going to pick up a nice 2-piece there inside of the hill with the MV4. He will be cleaned up by Havoc. Now hill control going in favor of Evil Geniuses, making Luminosity spawn all the way on that bottom right side of the map.
Yeah, indeed, a much needed point starting to go in GG's favors. They finally are able to get on the board. Of course, tacking those ones through as LG seems to try to make a team push, but Havoc is there, tries to find one, is able to make it happen, but cannot find the second in response. It seems that EG still holding true. It seems that the main player Study, when we talk about Study and Nameless, the dynamic duo between the two, of course, runners up when it came down to the Ghost Call of Duty Championships. Guys have been together for a long time, and you know that the chemistry is definitely going to be there between those two.
Oh, it's not even, it's more than chemistry. It's like a bromance between the two.
I would say I said brotherhood, probably. I think it's a better way to say it.
But I mean, one half of the brotherhood right now looks like he's not showing up to the game, and that is going to be Nameless going 0-5. Look for him to try to pick it up in here. He's going to be in this lower hangar area.
There you go.
Finally going to pick up a kill on his former teammate Saints. Let's see if he's going to be able to start to get things going here. There's going to be one player outside by the rocks. He's going to get first shot on Octane, but he will come out on top in that one. The Luminosity still has a comfortable lead in this match. Study going to be the player inside of the hill. Trophy systems are going to be down, but slacking to get in there, get that quick cleanup, making all the players spawn out on that back rock side for Evil Geniuses. Luminosity taking control once again, but now what they need to realize is Study just spawned all the way over by the Skydeck bridge. So let's see if the pinch is going to be able to come in here.
Yeah, good play from EG, and the things I'm going to be mentioning as well. I think from the Evil Geniuses side, they're going to try to get all up close and personal. They want to try to rush you. Havoc is one of those players who likes to get in your face. Study is as well. Nameless kind of likes to hang in the back, and Study can kind of do just about everything. When if you're on the LG side, Octane likes to rock the MV4. He likes to kind of remain in the back of the map, kind of be the anchor when it comes down to hardpoint. Your rushers are going to be players like Saints as well as Slack Classic to kind of hold and do everything else. Of course, Osa in hand for Classic. Currently starting off 10-5, the most kills so far in the lobby for this game, number 1. As LG looking absolutely fantastic here off the start. No knowledge of Classic coming from the flank. 2 go down, make it 3 for Evil Geniuses as Luminosity Gaming reached that 100-point mark and are starting to thrive. They know exactly where these players are spawning at, and Octane is starting to potentially get some of these headshots and long-range gunfights in his favor.
Yep, it took a little bit for Luminosity to get the setup that they wanted, but for one of these hills, this is kind of the one where you want to push out on both sides. You're going to make them spawn in that lower hangar area, and it worked out for him. Like you said, Octane just been the player inside of the hill, tagging up players from range. That's his role. That's exactly what he does. He will be taken out there, and he does fall, but Luminosity looking so good in this hardpoint thus far. Evil Geniuses have not been able to really get anything going. When they do get hill control, Luminosity is always doing a smart thing, send those gunfights so they can get those easy trades out, and that's exactly what you want to see in a hardpoint as well. They're sending people on the pinch to try to make something happen. We're getting to the point in the game now where the payloads are going to start coming up. Slack is going to be the player getting closest to that one, but you just look at the side of Luminosity. Identical stats for basically everybody. 13-7 for Classic and Slack, 12-7 for Octane, 9-7 for Saints with 1 minute hill time. So the squad looking like a well-oiled machine right now, and the score is rising 143 to 49.
Yeah, the scorecard is a perfect example of what this LG team does provide, and Nameless having a very slow start, to say the least, and it's been the exact opposite for the Luminosity gaming side, as Saints is able to find too. But that's the one thing we talk about this Luminosity gaming team. Even, whenever we had Looney in place of Saints back on the Rise Nation roster for Black Ops 3, it was that there are no weak links on this roster. It's not one player you have to worry about, the guy who's kind of doing the objective or anything like that. I mean, all of these guys have the potential to go off. And when we talk about, Saints currently, actually just starts to pull back up as they're all at the 13-14 kill margin. I mean, all of these guys have the ability to go off. And I think one player who we need to be highlighting a lot throughout this entire series, and really throughout Infinite Warfare if he keeps it up, is going to be Classic. A guy who kind of goes under the radar, kind of plays that SMG, well, you can say AR, but SMG, very close quarter role, does a lot for the LG side, provides a lot of communication, a lot of good knowledge around the map. I think he's definitely a player, to me, who's one of the top players in this game so far, and that definitely helps LG with a lot of their decision making.
I mean, you kind of look at it, right? You see the powerhouse that used to be Rise, and then now they're on Luminosity. They're all players that kind of fly under the radar. Slack has been underrated for basically a majority of his career. Classic has shown little glimpse of greatness, but never in that top conversation. So it's just sort of weird how it works out that they're one of such a dominating team, and they're proving it here at MLG Vegas, but they all just kind of fly under the radar, like you said. But the player we're on board with is Slack, but we just have to keep bringing up Nameless. He's slowly starting to get things going right now on a 3-kill streak. 5-14 though, not much hill time. So I'm just going to be curious to see what he's going to be doing. Obviously he's going to be using the K-bar, but he just needs to be coming out on top of these gunfights. But when you have a guy like Octane with that precision aim and the NV4, it's going to be hard for him to miss shots. And he's just been doing an excellent job, especially on that lava pipes hill, and holding it down. That's where a majority of his time has come from thus far. And you see it just keep on rising. 124.
There's no need for that, man.
Time split completely from everybody on Luminosity.
Like, I understand the why there from Nameless. You're just trying to keep your fingers going and just trying to make sure that you're warm still. But it seems just at the awkward timing. It's just the EG is not really. Not that they're not ready for this game. It's just the fact that you came from a game 5. Maybe your S&D more mentality. But this is a different team. You're not facing Splice. You're not facing off against Infuse. You're playing up against one of the best respawn teams in the game today, and that is against Luminosity. Is Classic able to find one, tries to find the second, but it seems that Havoc will end up dropping, and Saints will be able to hold down in the hill, has the MV4 in hand, but quickly gets dropped. So good trades coming in from Evil Genius. It's about time they start to kind of pick it up here, as Nameless is currently on that flank, but to no avail. It seems that LG is still holding strong, and they are getting closer and closer to closing this one out. I mean, it's all but over at this point, but EG, it's just basically a bunch of consolation kills that they're going to be awarded.
They need to, I don't know why they're playing so slow when the score is just rising. Finally, they do get inside of the hill, but it took them a little bit. I understand trying to get a coordinated pinch in, but it's at the point where you need to try to flood. You need to try to get those contestations and just keep the game going. But it's scored 232, or at this point, like you said, if you're Evil Geniuses, the comeback is going to be super hard, but you're just trying to break out of that 100-point club. So right now, you're going to see on the minimap, you're going to see the blue arrows from Luminosity trying to get set up once again with that same routine. Set up one player back rock, push up into observation deck, have somebody in security and one person in hill as well. And that's what they're trying to go for here. So look for the players from Luminosity, specifically Classic, to try to push forward, but he is going to be taken out inside of the hill. But now you see arrows 2 and 4. They were going to go try to work for trades, but Evil Genius has had something to say about that.
Dude, Nagafin watching from the side, just making sure he's going to get a little bit of spawn knowledge, as it seems, as LG are starting to force their way forward. We talk about payloads being earned. Octane very close to earning his. Classic, maybe a kill or two, maybe even a nade away from earning that active camo, as he's going to have to wait a little bit longer to earn that one. Octane earned that Centurion. Looking toward observation deck, as it's all starting to come to an end. EG starting to realize that this game is over at this point. Not that they haven't already realized that, but only a few more seconds needed. Like I said, consolation kills coming in from the side of Evil Geniuses, but it seems that they're going to have to kind of focus their ways on some search and destroy as this game gets closed out 250 to 126. But I want to kind of point out, we were talking about the, lack of slang, I guess you could say, from the Evil Geniuses side, but to be realistic, I mean, this is a team who's not, their specialty isn't in hardpoint. They're not necessarily known as a respawn team, maybe an uplink team here or there, but their specialty comes down to search and destroy. I mean, we talk about the sniper play from Study. I mean, I believe one of the players of the year for search and destroy back in C2L's season 2 or season 1 for search and destroy was Nagafin, right, over on that Elevate side back in the day. And we all know Havoc, the man who loves to play 1v1 tournaments. I mean, I don't think he's ever takes a break from his stream. So I think when it comes down to it, search and destroy, EG obviously has to win that when it comes down to it. But this is definitely not the game type they're preferred to win. But when you get destroyed like that, I think you definitely take every loss to heart.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, just the side of Evil Geniuses, you compare it to Paper and the guys from Luminosity, they outslay him in every single aspect.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of that. Now, Search and Destroy, like you said, is a completely different story, especially when you have players like Nagafin and Havoc as well. I mean, Nameless is the type to grind wagers in tournaments.
Oh, yeah.
Study doing the same. I mean, it's just sort of like a collective thing, but definitely Nagafin and Havoc stick out in your mind when you think of Search and Destroy. You think of who's going to be the one sniping and stuff along those lines as well. So to try to turn this around, this is definitely one they need to win. Last time these guys did meet up in the pools, they ended up losing the Search and Destroy 6-4 to Luminosity as well. So it went right down to the wire. They just couldn't close it out on top. So we'll see if they're going to be able to bounce back in this one. It's definitely going to be a tough task to do. You got to think, what's the mindset of Nameless right now? How is he feeling? The veteran of this team, a player who's been around for so long. He's got to try to turn things around after that performance. 10-20. Not doing a whole lot for the team there. Like I said, Nameless probably beating himself up over it, but you got to move on. You got to head into the Search and Destroy with a fresh head.
Indeed you do. And of course, we'll get ready to load in here to the rig draft, the selection. It should be pretty standard stuff. I mean, when we come down to it, your active armors, your rewinds, your active camos, and most likely overdrive. Actually, you're going to see FTL jump. That's something that I actually have seen from Octane throughout this weekend. A few players have kind of been choosing to go with that one. Players like Theory from TK, and I've seen a couple EU players rock that one as well. So kind of interesting strategies that kind of come out. You can kind of see they don't really prefer that overdrive, and to be honest, I don't really blame them. I mean, it's very situational unless you're trying to maybe rotate to a certain bomb site. You can obviously use it to kind of catch an enemy off guard. I mean, but FTL jump can obviously do that job for you. I mean, it's like basically a reverse rewind in a sense, where you end up getting pushed forward. It's a lot easier to spot than that rewind is, but it still can definitely be very beneficial.
Oh yeah, I mean, it just catch you off guard, right? You're in a 1v1 situation, you see him just like coming right at you. You're like, oh, he's still far away. The FTL jump is going to put him right in front of you. So that's definitely something to keep out with. It's coming down to what you're going to learn is that fourth payload, whatever somebody decides to pick. It's just kind of be a toss-up. There's nothing that you can pick that can really affect you that badly. Maybe if you use like a Centurion and Search and Destroy, but even then, the trophy drone can be something that can help you as well if you were to use that. So you're basically just going to see like a toss-up of overdrive and FTL jump and Search and Destroy. Usually majority of the time it is the overdrive, but we're going to see the FTL jump come into play, so we're going to have to keep an eye on Octane to see when he gets that. He's not going to be using a trait for that because, I mean, I think the only trait that is actually allowed is going to be the power slide, but using the power slide can actually mess up your movement around the map that the players, we'll just call it a G slide. I don't really know what people really want to call it in this game, so we'll call it that. But so just opting to not go with a trait, that's why you don't see one selected for the side of Luminosity. But Throwback Search and Destroy is going to be the map. Luminosity up 1-0 after a dominating performance in Hardpoint. We'll see if they can carry it over into the Search and Destroy.
Indeed, like I said, when we talk about a map like Throwback or S&D on Throwback, it's a factor of snipers. You're going to see a lot of sniper play towards that lemon side, maybe even into the top blue or near that silos and barn. And when this roster was actually formed for Evil Geniuses, everyone was saying, well, who's going to be the sniper? Because Nagafin was the sniper back on Elevate, Havoc was the sniper back on whichever roster you want to kind of name, whether it was C9, Complexity, and then Study was obviously the main sniper when it came down to Luminosity Gaming. So from what I've seen so far, it seems that Study is actually the main sniper rifle for this team. Of course, not going to be rocking it here off the start, but we'll see potentially how things do line forward. It seems that LG here off the start are going to be making a hard and aggressive A hit. One player to be here that is going to be Nagafin toward the back. Tosses out the trophy systems, but if you picture on this corner, you're going to see that bomb is already going down. Defense comes through, and Nagafin starting to call it to his teammates, but Nameless can't hear that one because he's already been dropped.
Yep, and he's going to be able to trade that one out. Classic going to be able to pick up another kill there on Havoc. So now a 3 versus 2 situation in favor of the guys from Luminosity. You're going to see Slack utilizing the raw ones with that MV4. Not going to be able to spot anything, but Nagafin's going to tie it up, taking out Saints. 27 seconds to work with, and Nagafin and Study going up against Classic and Slack. Let's see what he's going to be able to do here. I wonder if Nagafin spotted that player, and nope, Slack's going to get the eyes on him first, and it's going to be Luminosity coming out on top 1-0 in this first round of Search.
Yeah, we definitely kind of saw the side of EG get a little bit cut off guard. They started to rush forward, didn't really see anything. They kind of played a little bit passive. Where's Luminosity Gaming at? Well, little do you know, they're actually planting the bomb down. Nogfin, the only player in that position to kind of throw those trophies forward. You got that trophy system defense, so he realized that nades are starting to come out, called out to his teammates, but Nameless ended up getting dropped before he could really even call out to him. So with that in mind, LG starting off hot here in the first round. Of course, round number 2 coming up. EG going to be on the offensive side. As you can see, early picks trying to go forward, nades and early NV4 shots being brought out, but nothing coming of it yet as Nogfin looks to try to get this bomb down here.
Yep. It's going to be an A hit for the side of Evil Geniuses. Nogfin going to be able to get that bomb down, so now the clock going to be working against the guys for Luminosity. Now, the thing I want to look at is Octane. What's he going to do? Is he going to push through this mid-tunnel? Is he going to wrap all the way around? He's going to push through the mid-tunnel, so there's going to be one player meeting him right there. Is he going to be able to come out on top of this one? It's going to be hard to do. Osa going up against the NV4 from close range. Not going to be able to win that one. Slack now going to be left last alive in a 1 versus 4. Let's see if he's going to be able to do anything magical here. The pinch is going to be coming in from both sides. He's going to be able to take out one in top green. Going to be one right outside here. Is he going to be able to spot it? He catches the player prone. He's going to go ahead and get the free fire. Picks up another kill. Has 15 seconds to work with just now. Playing for kills, but he will be taken out. Evil Genius is able to get a round back of their own to tie this up.
I don't think he could have ran back, but that was a very aggressive trade there from Nogfin. I think maybe just trying to hold him off, but you don't really have a whole lot of cover. Granted, the guy's one shot, but in that situation, I'm trying to run away, trying to play the time. Either way, though, he's able to make it happen. That's all that matters. So with that in mind, EG able to level the round count up at 1 apiece. LG going to decide and actually fare off here on this offensive break here again. Both teams winning their offensive starts here on some throwback. Early nades being thrown, being tossed forward. Not seeing any sniper play, I believe. Study kind of remaining in the back as yet again LG are saying, we're going to go toward this A set every time that it works. A few players in the back, Nogfin and Study trying to tag him up. Not find anything as of yet as Nameless yet again, like I said, gets dropped for that first blood.
We're on board with Nogfin. He's going to be pushing you through the middle of the map. See what they're going to be able to do here. Havoc is going to be able to get a kill as well as Nogfin. So now it's going to be Slack trying to work with Saints. And as I say that, Slack does drop. Now Saints is left last alive in a 1 versus 3. Stuck in a rock in a hard place. Going to go down 2-1 in the search and destroy. See if they can try to turn things around here. Maybe try to switch some things up. Looks like Evil Genius has adapted pretty well to this A hit from the side of Luminosity. Didn't work out like the first round.
Yeah, like you said, back-to-back A hits for Luminosity. EG very quick to respond. They're saying, we've seen this one before, I'm pretty sure. And they were able to kind of react and win the gunfights that they needed. Octane ended up dropping in a pretty clutch situation. So big wins from EG. Clutch Factor coming in. We'll see how they can fare here off on offense. They won their first one. We'll see if they can potentially do it again. They desperately need to get as many rounds in a row as they can, earning those rigs, or excuse me, those payloads rather. It's not going to be very close to that reactive armor. You can kind of see Nameless and Study both very much struggling as 1 and 4 combined. Classic finds the first blood over on Havoc. That's going to be a very difficult situation for EG. Looks like the rotation might come in. Bomb is dropped, and now Nameless and Study left to fare off here. The dynamic duo is now turned into 1. Nameless 1 versus 3 before I can even utter the words. LG able to respond. Now 2-2.
And we're seeing another slow game for Nameless. We talked about, is he going to be able to turn this around, picking up 1 kill so far in the search and destroy? I believe with that death that he just received right there, he's actually going to be 1 and 4 on the game. So we'll see if he's going to be able to try to pick this one up. Like I said, 2-2, and this is something that Evil Geniuses definitely needs to win. We've seen the guys from Luminosity, or formerly on Rise last year, how good they were at uplink. It's carrying right over into Infinite Warfare. They've been doing a lot of the same. They completely dominated the last time these two teams met as well, but now we're going to see some sniper action coming out from Study. Is he going to be able to find the pick on the player flying high in the sky? He's not going to be able to.
He had a lifetime to hit that. He's not able to make it work. Classic yet again finding the first blood. Nameless able to respond. Sniper shot. That's going to go through for Study. Now it's going to be a 2 versus 2. It's going to be the EMC left to work with as well, of course, as the longbow. See if any of those arrows can be shot forward. Nothing coming of it as of yet. So he's been a little bit risky there. Realizes there might be a player on the flank. 25 seconds left to work with as Nogfin shuts down Octane. It's not going to be a 1 versus 2 for Saints. Saints versus Study. Of course, a little bit of controversy coming in. Saints is able to shut down Nogfin, but there is Study from behind. The nice shots, the sniper play coming forward, as he's able to find 2 in the round, 1 with the pistol and 1 with the sniper. As that's now going to be EG who takes the lead in the search and destroy. Yeah,
very close there. I mean, Saints knew that Study was last alive. He's going to have that sniper, tried to get out, but got stuck on the sandbags. I mean, should not have been, if it came down to it, should not have been a round that Evil Geniuses should lose. I mean, you saw the kill right there, but then Saints was so one shot, just a quick shot with the EMC was going to take him out. But they had the pinch coming in there. It just a little bit of timing went in favor of Luminosity for Saints. But Evil Geniuses now going to be going up 3-2 Slacked, Classic, getting very close to their payloads, as well as Nagafin and Study. So look for those to come into action. It's going to be the reactive armor. Now what you need to do is just see Nagafin get at least some points, and that reactive armor is going to come into play. He has a scare to work with as well. Going to keep tagging a player up in this back lemon area, but Classic going to draw first blood once again. It's going to be on Nameless, but immediately traded out by Study with a sniper.
Classic has got at least 3 first bloods in a row. They've got to constantly be aware of him, but as soon as Nagafin gets his bomb down, he's going to be challenged. Is he going to be able to receive that knowledge? But no, not going to happen. Saints finds one, Havoc finds another. Havoc drops shortly after, and now it's all up to Study. Still sniper in hand. 30 seconds up to work with. Rocks the overdrive here, so we'll see how that does end up playing off for him. Able to find one from the side, but the EMC only able to tag him up. He's going to be shot from middle map, as it should be a challenge from both sides from LG, but 30 not able to win it. Tries to go for the melee, but it's going to be just too late, as round by round these teams go back and forth, and LG able to get the defuse. I believe this might give Saints to be 25 off of his scare, but he's going to be very close to that reactive armor as well. So a lot of utility going to be coming up these next few rounds.
Now you have to think there, if you're Study, when you use the overdrive middle map, you see this player top train, he doesn't see you at all. Maybe pull out the sniper and just try to get the quick shot on him instead of trying to range him with the pistol. That was probably one of the negatives there. He would have at least been able to pick up one and then make it a 1 versus 1 situation and just go from there. So that's maybe something I would have liked to see from Study in that play. So let's see what they're going to be able to do here. Luminosity tying this one up. Looks like it could be going to around 11 if it continues how it is, but we're going to see our first B hit here from the side of Luminosity, and you're going to see a complete 4-stack over at A for Evil Geniuses.
And you should see EG rotate very quickly, realizing this is either a delayed push or, guys, I think our site's actually wide open, as it's going to be Study who's going to have to reload that information. Sniper out, so kind of a good weapon to have in that situation. One player rushing forward. We'll see how the kill starts to go down. Nice shot there over on Classic. Wipes his head clean off. Saints with his payload able to find 2 there. So players from EG starting to rotate over. Nagafin going to be on that side. Silo's able to find 1 there as well. Now it's going to be up to a 2 versus 2. Sniper still coming in. I believe that might be... All right, it looked like a sniper play. It looks like it wasn't. So shot still coming in. Actually, Nagafin able to rock his payload here in this situation. Reactive armor in use. Can he win it? Could get a gunfight, but no, he's not able to make it happen. No. Study versus Slacked. Slack's rocked his payload. Can he win the gunfight is the question. EMC in hand. The sniper rifle maybe will do. And is able to win it, but unfortunately the bomb will go off. So while it is a nice play there from Study, he's able to kind of maybe build toward those streaks and even that payload. It still will be a round 1 from the side of Luminosity.
The positive that you can take away from that is they were able to shut down Saints. He was actually 50 points off of getting his Scorchers. He did have the reactive armor too, but Nagafin was able to catch him with his pants down, wasn't able to pop it enough. So that's one thing you can kind of take away from that. You shut down Saints, but he's also very, very close to getting his payload. So see how this round plays out. We're seeing Nagafin doing the same thing every round so far. I swear, this guy spends more time up in the air than he does on the ground. Every single time off the round start, it's just constantly checking over it, let me get in those calls. But the bomb going to be a quick plant down at A once again, so let's see how Luminosity responds.
Can you imagine if Nagafin had propulsion? Well, he's got a nade in his face. Slack able to shut him down. Nameless still trying to watch the flank in this backside bus area, trying to watch through bowling and just making sure he's got eyes over on that bomb. Well, during that time, 2 of his teammates have fallen, so half of the EG lineup still up, and now it's going to be Nameless who just absolutely gets tagged. A perfect break there from the side of Luminosity. They might give this one to Slack depending on the streak situation, so it is going to be active camo, reactive armor, and now Rewind getting very, actually not really very close, but definitely about, I would say like 66% of the way there. So good plays coming in from the side of Luminosity Gaming. They're only 1 more round away from locking this one up to be a 2-0 in their favor. EG is going to have to grind. They're going to have to try and find some life here. No payloads on their side. We'll see how they can fare off and try to stay alive here, as they're going to have to pull back a huge comeback.
We'll see how this one is going to play out. Same thing. It's going to be Classic, I believe, utilizing the active camo on this one. So let's see what he's going to be able to do. Gets complete eyes on all the players. He's going to stop shooting early, but Octane's going to be there to clean up too. Nagafin's going to be able to take out Classic, but Octane going to go ahead and pick up the ace to close out this one 6-3 in favor of Luminosity. And we're heading into an uplink now after this one. And you have to say, I mean, Luminosity looking so strong. It should be game over here for Evil Geniuses.
I mean, I hate to call things before they're done, but I mean, just to be realistic, I mean, that was the game type where it was EG's play, right? You know, how are you guys going to play? We all know what Luminosity is going to bring. We saw the sniper play coming out from Study as he ends up dropping 8-5. But yet again, the slow start for Nameless, 2-9. The very low performance back in that hard point as well. He's had a very hard time trying to get things going. And when you've already lost to this team 3-0, you're kind of thinking in your mind right now at this point, you're 5-0 down to them in map count throughout MLG Vegas. it might just be a hot 6-0.
I mean, and you know the Fire specifically. I mean, yeah, it's the whole competition thing. You want to win, right? But Nameless and Study want to win this one more than either one of his teammates. I mean, they're trying to get revenge. It's just that little thing. You can sit there and ask them, does it mean anything going up against your former teammate Saints? They say no, but you know in the back of their head that's still sitting there about the whole Luminosity thing that happened with Saints dropping them. So that's one thing that's going to be in their head. I mean, you think that's enough to try to fuel the fire, but now we're going to be going into an uplink. It's going to be on Frost. Like we said, Luminosity has just been looked so good in every game that we've seen thus far in the hardpoint and the search and destroy. Their uplink game, no introduction needed for it. It's very, 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 very good.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They showed Evil Geniuses a little glimpse of what they're going to get in the future when they meet up. And 9-1 the last time these two met on uplink too. So
you by chance know what map that might have been? If you don't worry about it. But I was just curious. It's obviously got either precinct, throwback, or some Frost. But either way, as we decide to look that one up, we'll be able to take a look at the overall rig selection. This is going to be Rewind Earned for Havoc, Reactive Armor for Nogafin, Active Camo for Nameless, Overdrive for Study. Basically a mirror matchup. So Octane obviously venting to go for the Overdrive. Very much needed, I think, over the FTL jump. I mean, it's great for some search and destroy. But when it comes down to uplink, your power players are going to be your guys with the Overdrive and the Active Camo. The guys who can absolutely make plays with those. And the guys with the Rewind and active, or Reactive Armor are obviously going to be able to kind of clear those things out, win those gunfights for you, as well. So Octane and Classic, the guys we're looking out for as far as the objective is concerned for Luminosity. And for the other side, it's going to be Nameless and Study. Like we said, the dynamic duo. One of them having a fantastic performance throughout this series, doing his absolute best to try to hold on to their run here at MLG Vegas. Like we said, Nameless having a slow start. Definitely look for him to try to bring this one back if they want a chance to try to stay alive here.
And it's something I would love to see an FTL jump try to come out and uplink, because I was sitting there thinking to myself, obviously when you use FTL jump, the drone drops, but if you throw it forward, you FTL jump, you can
That's a really good point, actually.
You can almost, in a sense, like, you can't catch the drone, at least from when I've tried it personally, but you throw it forward and then you FTL jump, you can basically just land right on top of it, pick it up.
Right.
It's something sneaky that I don't know if any teams have tried experimenting with it, but I feel like it'd be something cool to see, but it's just sort of one of those risk things. I mean, maybe it's something to try and scrims just to see. Maybe it could be a new meta thing that comes up too.
I expect like a Dredger video about that probably soon.
Yeah.
If it ends up happening.
I mean, it's just like, I was testing out on a throwback. You just look up in the sky, you just throw the drone forward, you just FTL jump, it's going to land like right in front of you. So it's like perfectly timed as well. But I mean, Overdrive is one of those things that you really can't go without in a game mode like Uplink as well. So loading in to map number 3, Luminosity versus Evil Genius. If you guys are just tuning in, Luminosity Gaming going to be up 2-0 over Evil Geniuses, looking very, very dominant thus far. So let's see what Evil Geniuses is going to be able to do to turn this around. And the guy that we need to watch and needs a big performance is going to be Nameless.
He's actually pulled out an OSA here for the start. And I'm not sure if that's just a Frost uplink strategy or if it's just something that he wants to try and switch up. Normally a solid K-bar, if not MV4 player. First time, I think, in all of Infinite Warfare that I've seen him pull out an OSA as far as his beginning class. But early on, a little bit of tennis going on as Classic's able to win that gun engagement. As the drone is tossed forward a few times, we'll see if Classic and Saints. And the guys from LG, as they get 3 down, can potentially get that drone forward for an early score. 1 point toss forward. They could have settled for, actually, they set up for the 1, could have actually gotten the 2, but they'll take it regardless. As in the first 30 seconds, LG have already got a little bit of a rally going.
Yep, and you see the players starting to link up here. Like I said, getting the relay. Drone going to be sitting on the black plat. There's going to be one player that's going to be Saints trying to slay out here. Drone going to be going towards him. He's going to go ahead, throw it back out. Slacked is going to be there to accompany him. So now just trying to make a play once again, maybe go for the 1 point toss here. It's going to be Octane picking up a kill there with the K-bar. Drone going to be tossed up forward. And again, another 1 point toss coming in from the guys on Luminosity.
Apologies for missing that one. I'm going to go ahead and rock the follow drone there so we don't have to miss any more of those tosses, of course. But like I said, Evil Genius is just having a very, very hard time. Granted, it's only 2 points. It's a 1 possession game. It's actually Evil Genius to start to throw the drone forward, and now Nogafin is going to be there. That could potentially be a 2 point toss, but no, he's going to whiff it. That's such an unfortunate miss, but Nameless could be there for the rebound. He has to go big, and Havoc is nowhere near to stop that drone as Evil Genius is on defense. We're getting constantly pushed. They have an offensive thing available, and we talk about Nogafin. I mean, you know, a player who is so talented when it comes down to a game mode like Uplink, that drone getting very close to the edge, but a very talented player when it comes down to the Uplink game mode. cannot afford losses. You cannot afford little tosses like that to go out, because this team's already up 2-0 on you. They're up 2-0 in this game, and they seem to be firing on all cylinders consistently.
That wasn't even a free throw. That was a layup right there.
That
was a wide open missed layup that he could have scored there. Went right under. But anyway, we're jumping right back into this to see if Nagafin can try to redeem himself. But the players from Luminosity do have the drone, and they're pushing it through this outskirts side. So let's see what Saints and Co. is going to be able to do. Nagafin has a chance to make something happen here. Coming around on the flank, he is going to be able to find one. That is going to be Octane Classic. Going to go ahead, reset his armor with the drone. Go for the one-point toss over top of the hut, and it's just going to come up short. But looks like somebody could try to be there for the rebound. Let's see what Nameless opts to do here.
He's going to try to reset that drone. Would be very smart to do so, and he is able to make that one go out. So sweat off the brown type of situation if you are Evil Geniuses. But in some cases, I'm really interested to see, after this first break here, that LG is not ready to go through dark, actually what Octane is looking through now, or just to his right through robots. They're ready to go over toward red side, which throughout most of the strategies that teams have been throughout MLG Vegas, no teams have really forced this way absolutely every time. So a strategy that's not very common, EG starting to maybe trying to adapt to that, and it's definitely going to cut them off guard here in the beginning of this game number 3. But I like the innovation coming from Luminosity Gaming, not doing everything set to standard, kind of catching the side of EG off guard. When you got Octane winning gunfights like this, it's very difficult to make anything happen, as EG yet again constantly getting 2 and 3 down, as it will be LG starting to rally and potentially to get another 1 point, or maybe even 2 on the board.
And we'll see what they're going to be able to do here. Just a little bit of miscommunication there, trying to figure out which way they want to go, and Evil Genius is going to make them pay. Going to get 4 down on the side of Luminosity. Let's see what they're going to be able to do. Study is going to be in control of the drone. Look for the defense to come out from the side of Luminosity. They're going to decide to push this one through ice, and teammates not going to be able to win that gunfight on that initial charge, so Study has to give up the drone, but Slack now going to be left last alive in a 1 versus 1 with Nagafin. He's going to come out on top, and like you said, big win right there, and they're going to wrap it through outskirts once again. I feel like I've never really seen a team do this like you brought up before, but it seems like they're very, very dedicated to it, but they haven't had anything to show.
There's a few tosses that you can actually do from that back red side, but seems Slack going the opposite way, of course, just trying to waste as much time as possible. Of course, we still have another 5 minutes when it comes down to this uplink game, but a little interesting movement there from Slack, but thankfully since that propulsion is in his back pocket, he has no problem scaling and running around. He basically turns into Spider-Man once he has that enabled, but either way, Octane gets shut down from the side. Teammate quick to respond is Havoc and Nameless. Havoc actually able to find 2 there, so 3 down for the side of Luminosity. Classic trying to watch through that frost side, or excuse me, ice side. It's tagged up, and EG start to try to make that push forward. They got to get through ice, but Octane able to receive that drone, moving that one forward. There's only 30 seconds left on this first half. This could be a play. Havoc actually rocked his payload, and in the end, the rewind not paying any dividends to what just took place, and now LG are up 3-0.
And I'm honestly surprised Evil Geniuses hasn't at least got a point off of this. I mean, we saw the missed toss by Nagafin. That should have been an easy one, but there's now been at least 2 times where they've got 4 down or they got 3 down. They didn't really capitalize on it. They took their time with trying to push forward, and that's not what you want to do. As soon as you know that you have a 3 or 4 down, you need somebody overextending, pushing through into the base and starting to try to slay out there to try to get a little bit of a relay going. So that's one thing we can take away from the side of Evil Geniuses, why they're down right now. You need to capitalize on those moments when you do get the player advantage going in your favor. But Luminosity going to be going into the second half of this uplink up by 3, and this is do or die for Evil Geniuses. If they lose this map, they will be eliminated from the tournament, and Luminosity will advance onward. So we're going to be starting off with the boys on EG to see what they're going to be able to do on this side.
And we look at the scorecard as well. That kind of tells an entire tale of what just took place in that first time. I mean, overall consistency from the LG side, constant 13 kills, Slack the only one with 9 and 13. And then from the side of Evil Genius, 18 and 12 for Havoc, 8 and 13 for Study. You get Nagafin and Nameless playing pretty consistently, but it comes down to it. You got to have all players firing on all cylinders, and Octane drops here off the start. And it seems that Nameless hopefully giving his team, as the captain of Evil Genius, a little bit of a maybe halftime speech, letting them know, hey, this is our last chance. This could be the last 5 minutes of our run here at MLG Vegas. 4 of them go down, and the powerhouse of Luminosity Gaming start to make their way forward. It seems like it's been a David versus Goliath fight up to this point, but Octane firing through middle ship ends up getting dropped as 2 go down so far in the lobby for the time being. Of course, those delayed respawns starting to come up, and now Nameless rushing from that side. I'd really like to see EG start to get a little bit of aggressive, maybe push through robots, and maybe even take a page of LG's book, try to go over on outskirts.
Yeah, definitely Slack going to be the player right here by the drone spawn. He is going to be able to take out Naga. Vincent out of the middle map is completely wide open, but he's going to have a gunfight coming up here with Study from Evil Geniuses. Study going to come out on top of that one, catching Slack off guard, and he's going to pick up another kill as well. So now that's 3 down for Luminosity Gaming, make that 4. So let's see what they're going to be able to do here. But again, no commitment to it. They get the players down, but they don't really do anything to overextend. They just kind of leave the drone sitting for a little bit. So it needs to just be urgent. You need to have a sense of urgency once you get those players down, and let's see what they're going to be able to do here. Nagavin has the drone, can slide out here and get a quick one. And finally, we're going to see Evil Geniuses get a point on the board with 3 minutes and 18 seconds left in this round.
We talked about the slaying dominance that LG has brought. I mean, it's not really led up to too many points. It's just the fact that Evil Geniuses has been consistently slayed out. LG faces that second wave, and a lot of the time they weren't able to kind of get past it. So, EG, there is still some light. You're only down by 2 points. It's a 1-possession game. Still 3 minutes left. Like we said, potentially the last 3 minutes of this run here from EG. Well, now LG going to be making their way forward. Octane turning on the Jets. The overdrive rocked, and the 2 points will come in, as that's now 5-1 in favor of LG. Now a 2-possession game. Study firing some shots through as 3 go down for the side of LG, but not a whole lot of map control gain.
It was a picture-perfect play there from what we saw from Luminosity. They're able to slay out the main drone site, get the drone in the hands of that overdrive player, and Octane had 3 teammates being his lead blockers. Such an easy score to happen. That's what you like to see with that payload.
Indeed. When I talk about the players who are power players throughout this game, we talk about players like Nameless and Study. Study, I believe, actually has that overdrive, and Nameless has the active camo. Those guys have got to get that at least once throughout this side if they want to even try to make a little bit of a comeback. One player might have actually fallen to his death, as Nameless is not convinced whatsoever that he's gone, but little does he know that Octane is actually on the other side, going on the wall run. Not able to get over on that ice ledge, but like I said, the payloads that are going to be earned for Study and Nameless, they might not even get them. I mean, Study might actually, he is going to gain this probably toward the end of this half, but realistically, at this point, I mean, you can already see from the LG side, they've already earned some of those already. I mean, they've already used the overdrive to get a score in. That just comes down to the slaying the uplink provides. The only way that you get those points, the only way that you get toward those rigs is through getting the slaying done. When you've not done that, they can obviously play a huge factor in how the payloads work out.
Yep, and you're going to look at this. It should be another dunk if Octane is going to be able to get this beat down, but he's actually going to miss. It's going to be Havoc cleaning that one up. Drone's still going to be inside of blue. They're going to be able to take out the last player for Luminosity. That is going to be Classic. So it looked like they were going to be set up to get another score, but Evil Genius had something else in mind. But 1 minute and 20 seconds left. Evil Geniuses needs to turn on the Jet. They need to start to try to get a relay going, but Classic picks up a big 3-piece, shuts down that push from Evil Geniuses, trying to make it so they don't get any more points added onto the board. And if you're Luminosity right now, all you have to do is just kind of kill the time, go utilize that wall run, just keep running.
Absolutely.
You get killed, drone gets reset with 1 minute left.
Yeah, and Octane doing a very, very smart play here. As his teammates actually get 3 down, he's like, well, maybe I should actually push the objective forward. We've slaying them out consistently. We don't have to waste too much time. We can maybe even get some points in our favor and maybe start to put the nails in the coffin little by little. EG realizing that potentially their series and their run here at MLG Vegas could be over. 3 down. Study, the last person here to defend over toward the portal. Tries to get the stop through, but unfortunately for him, the toss goes forward. 5-point advantage for LG. Just 30 seconds left. And it seems all but over now as Evil Geniuses start to maybe realize such and try to get the last few kills, but it's consolation kills at this point.
I mean, for the entire game, we saw just from the stat line, if you want to base it off kill-to-death ratios, it was kind of equal, right? Yeah. You had 3 players dropping not huge numbers, but up there in the high 10s and the lower 20s, and then you saw just kind of like 1 or 2 players, the 1 player on each team just dropping like maybe the low 10s and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's still kind of the same, right? I mean, the only players that have the weak link in terms of slaying, if you want to go by that, is just going to be Nameless and Study, but overall, all around, like we said, there were so many times where Evil Geniuses found Luminosity down in the man count, but they didn't utilize those pushes, and it's not going to work for you in uplink. Like you said, you need to have a sense of urgency when you're going. You saw it so many times from Luminosity. Once they got 3 down, I believe it was player number 8, which might have been Saints. He was always pushed up. He was always overextended and in the enemy base, ready to slay out. So him and Classic did such an excellent job of just leading the charge for Slack and Octane to try to carry that drone in.
Right. So guys, with that in mind, of course, we've got a lot of action going on here throughout Championship Sunday here at the MLG Vegas Open. I believe we currently have a matchup going on over on the Alpha stage, as well as this one just concluded here over on Bravo. If you guys did miss it, if you're just wondering why are they showing a Frost Uplink card and now the schedule, it's the fact that actually LG just 3-0'd EG, and now EG is obviously out of the tournament. Of course, you can keep their head high. They were able to make it out through the open bracket. Not an easy one, to say the least. The largest open bracket in Call of Duty esports history. Definitely a feat that they can take home with. They ended up taking on Infuse in Game 5 and Splice earlier today in a Game 5 as well. So a lot of close games for them. But yet again, it seems that maybe LG is a little bit of their kryptonite. At LG Vegas, LG 6-0s them in total map count here at the Vegas Open.
I mean, like you said, I mean, if you're Saints, you're smiling because you have that relief. Like, yes, the roster change worked out, but if your name is Luminosity, like I said, you're kind of beating yourself up. But, I mean, coming from the PlayStation X performance, which was absolutely atrocious for the guys of Evil Geniuses, and then coming into this one, I mean, I'm not sure if you want to be so I know the guys aren't going to be positive about this finish. I mean, that's just kind of the guys that they are. But
it's progress, but it's not maybe the exact results they want. You know what I mean? So.
I mean, they're a team that we don't have super high expectations for. Like we said, it's just kind of the weak link in the respawn game modes. If they can try to get that figured out in some way, that, like I said, that might be the biggest thing that they need to worry about. I don't want to say like a roster changes to come for this, but it's maybe they need to pick up more of a Slayers. Like we said, it's sort of like just a casual team. They're not big on slaying. It's just a lot of search and destroy. A couple players that are capable of putting up